Test radio. No, no audio.
It's working.
Okay, that should be working better.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see the first one.
I gotta find those jingle singers wherever they might be. The old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
Or, like they say, your old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, your Class D 11-meter Citizen Band radio place to be on a Saturday evening for a long, long time. Hello, my name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit into the air chair. Hello to those listening live right here, if you're on the skip zone or not, at 27085 Channel 11. Also, oldtuberadio.net and the link up to the live video that appears to be happening, and all the lights. I don't see any red lights glowing except for the one that says on the air over there, so thanks for joining us. Something different tonight. We will be going to the radios here at the top of the hour, but first I do want to acknowledge our listeners that need an early check-in. So for the SWLs that need to get an early check-in and continue with their business, come now over.
$56.
All right, to 56, just for kicks, we got you over.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good night.
24.
And 24, hello, Joe. We got you on the item of interest. Thanks.
14.
And 14 is out there somewhere. A 1-4 got you on the SWL side. Also, I want to see if 00195 is out there. Over.
195.
Yeah, 00195. We got you now. What we'll be doing, we'll be taking check-ins, quick check-ins between the radios here at the first hour, but we want to make sure the radios can get on and beacon out, and we'll do that. So we'll be here till past 10 o'clock if you need to come back in or check in that way. Who else needs an early check-in on the SWL side?
Number 7.
Number 7 looking good. Thanks, Ed. And I also see SWL number 2, Mr. OBP as well, saying hello, radio. We get 2 in as well. Okay, no problem. We will make sure that we get everybody that needs and wants a check-in at the appropriate time, but I do want to beacon through a couple of radios that might be out there at this time. So we're going to stand by and listen for any and all tube radio check-ins. Over.
14.
All right, 14. We have a nice quiet frequency. There was some skip going on earlier from Hawaii, and it just kind of faded away. I didn't hear anything from the north, but you never know. But we're doing good from the, what are you, south and east out there in Sangertown. Sean, take a transmission. I've got the radio list ready at Radio 1 here.
Yeah, I'm talking on my Cardiff phone, and it is the model TR326. This Cardiff phone has the stock microphone, and hopefully it's making a good trip to you there.
It is making a good trip. I got a TR326 in the archives. Let me see if it brings... Oh, and it does. It brings up a picture. We will go right to that. The audio is probably... the audio is good. I'm saying it's about 75%. Let's go to the live picture. And that is your basic bare bones radio. Over.
Yeah, it is. And it's been modified just a little bit. I've got a orange light, a small one about the size of a pea. right above dead center where it says signal meter, somebody has drilled a hole and added that light. And the other interesting thing is it has a third channel added to it. Factory was 2, but somebody went in there and built a neat little bridge and coincidentally by chance as the first channel on the selector. 13 is my second one.
Well, there's what I'm seeing is there's 4, and they kind of give it so you could write it in actually on the channel selector. I mean, it does have a signal strength meter as well. I'm going to get a closer shot here. There we go. The microphone we're showing is a less than stellar hand microphone. I'm not sure if that's the actual one you're using, but I love the power tuning. And
W60TR.
I'm looking to see if this is showing. Yeah, 1961 to 62. So this is one of the first out-of-the-box radios back in the day. 6-volt DC, that's always a giveaway that it was an early radio because there were still a lot of 6-volt vehicles, 12-volt DC, and 117-volt AC. Believe it or not, that has 10 tubes. That's a lot of tubes for back in the day, over.
Yeah, it does have a lot of tubes, and this is the very early
There's
version.
a local
that is
doing it
only
right
2
now.
channels. It has a larger D-phone image.
That's the one?
Where the channel selector is.
No, it's not.
The other
It's a
cool thing
local
about
on a
it
base
is, the
with a
tape
high
for the call sign is KFC 4104. So this is the Kentucky Fried Chicken Cardiff Phone.
37, Dennis.
All right, 37. I got you checked in. Chris, we'll get you on the list. Thanks for jumping in. SWL37. The Kentucky Fried Chicken, I wonder if that ever made it through the drive-up window, although, KFC didn't put the drive-in windows until much later. The drive-up windows weren't much of a thing in the 60s, maybe for Doreen or Snitchell. I'm looking at the tube, 6AQ5, 6BJ7, 12AX7, 6UA8, 6AQ5, 12AV7. I just was looking to see if it had one of the voltage regulator tubes in there, and $179 in 1961. I bet that's probably at least $500 or $600 in today's money from KAAR, and they actually made quite a few radios, believe it or not. They had the Cardiff Phone, the TR333, the 327. So I think the 326 was probably their more friendly budget model, but working quite nice. I love how they have the screws right in the front cabinet holding stuff up.
Yeah, it actually, to slide it out, it's just like a general radio telephone, but it has 2 giant screws in the back, very large diameter, probably 10 millimeters, that's how big they actually are. And the other cool thing, the Cardiff Phone is a California radio out of Palo Alto.
Yeah, I'm glad you had that information. It didn't show me on my Rolodex where this was made, and I wasn't sure. And there's a lot of the East Coast radios, but we had a couple on the West Coast as well. Cardiff Phone jumping in to the CB world early, and interestingly enough, I don't recall them having any amateur radio gear. I could be wrong about that, but a lot of the early radios were jump overs, E.F. Johnson and Hallicrafters and Hammerland and World Radio Lab. So Cardiff Phone may have done some other electronics, but they did get into the Class D and sounding good. Good copy. I'm going to go back to you for another transmission. I've got the S meter up if you want to watch the replay, and you can hear the audio. Audio sounds good. It is, like I said, maybe 70 to 80% modulated, but we have a clear, quiet frequency, so it's sounding good. Over.
Here, Spokane,
Off frequency, so that may be playing a part in the situation. But yeah, it is a nice Cardiff Phone, and
Okay, liking the Cardiff Phone, and it looks like our sporadic E-skip just jumped in as we've got the northwest corner saying hello radio as well. Speaking of radios, our first one tonight, the Car. That's KAAR Phone 326. Believe it or not, back in probably the late 80s and early 90s, we had a lot of stations that had quite a collection of the Cardiff phones, and I wouldn't be surprised if they might have been one of the number one heard radios way, way long ago, but it's nice to hear one now. Still working from 1961 and 62 in a great transmission. Thanks for bringing it by over.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Have we got another radio in the queue? Over.
Hey, 709 up here in Spokane, QTR, breaker.
All right, 709 Spokane. It's good to hear you guys. It's been a while. We haven't had the E-skip, but you're floating in pretty good here into Central California on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Hey, QTR. Hey, Granny, say some flowers for yourself, man. You sound treat. My big 8-element Joe gun up here in Spokane, Washington there, breaker, and I'm out of the way.
All right, you aren't on the B&W tonight, are you?
Negative. I'm using...
All right, well, it's making the trip down here fine to Central California. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. Jingle Singers will tell us about it, and then we are going to be listening for radio check-ins.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
the station for you is
OTR.
We are listening for radio number 2. And I want to say hello to Albert and the gang. Hey, you guys just heard Spokane in, so that's not far from where you guys are. So if you're out in the mobile, Squamish, BC, out there, 428, and Peter and all the guys, listen in because we might have some conditions coming up 11 meters your way. And Neil, SWO 147, I see you. We'll check in Kakalaki. Temperatures finally dropped down to the 80s with light rain, some conditions, but not great. And a little after dinner time, Dr. Jazz in North Carolina. Looking good. We're getting some conditions now from the north area. Hello to Frank D. from Yellow Springs, Ohio, listening in. Matambale, the jingle singer. He says the jingle singers always cheer me up. They do me when they're on time and hit their cue. We're listening for radios. And Alex in Chicagoland from the Chicagoland group. Thanks for listening in at 27085. I think if I take a look at the DX map, which is we will probably see that there are certainly no conditions. Let me go to the other side here from your area. It looks like what we're going to get is some conditions, up and down the West Coast, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, Colorado. You guys on the other side, though, we're going to have conditions the same way up and down the East Coast. So that's who you'll be talking to tonight. OTR listening. And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
This is Dennis, check-in lake, SWL 66, checking in old block 9.
Okay, 66, but I can tell you are on the horizontal antenna tonight. We got some good fading between the ground wave and sky wave and whatever else you're doing, but looking good and sounding good. We will get you checked in on the radio tonight. Always good to have 66 listening in. Thanks for stopping by.
Roger there, Dennis. Yep, don't have a ground plane up. Thanks for letting me know this old Black 9 is still working. I'm back out of the way.
All right, the DAC 9. I'm going to put that on our radio list. It's got a tube in there somewhere. Over.
Yeah, it's got 2 tubes.
Yeah, it does. All right, you're going to be radio number 2. I'm going to put the DAC. Let's see, IX, right? It's a DAC IX.
Yes, sir. All stock, all original, and running the original DAC B104.
Okay, and making the, 20 or 30 dB cross polarization coming in at about S6, but looking good and fading out. So you're probably talking to the skip better than you're talking local here tonight. SWL 66. Been on that on the list for a long time, and he's got a lot of radios. You'll hear him on some other frequencies talking the big talk. Thanks, sir, for stopping by, and thanks for the DAC 9. And this is the Old Tube Radio Network. We're listening for glow-in-the-dark radios. All right, 709. Keep the band open. Keep tickling the ionosphere, because we've got stations up in Idaho, Washington, Oregon. We've got some a great group out there in British Columbia, just to your north and west. We're trying to get them to get in tonight, so hopefully we've got some conditions as we are in our gray line and the sun is going down. SWL 15 Alpha 173. Hello. We're taking radios first, but anybody that wants to stop by, we will get the check-in. So we've got 14 checked in with the radio and 15 good morning, good Sunday morning to you. Also, let's say hello to Greg O. Jake from State Farm while waving from the Smoky BMW. Foxman 362 having a party. I got some birthday cake over at Old Radio Night. Speaking of which, I want to see if ORN is on right now, because we're doing a little bit out of order. But if they're listening, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring the audio up, and we'll send for
655.
ORN.
655.
There it is.
I turned the wrong thing. Hey, 655.
He's on 17.
Have a good one. Hey, 655-21. I'm back out.
All right, and so we're going to get 21 of the gang checked in here in just a minute. OTR listening for radio check-ins.
429 is, I believe.
SWL 60.
Hey, 60, I'll get you checked in on the SWL list, and no doubt you might have a radio, over.
Yeah, Dennis, if I may there for sure, SWL 60 checking in. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Mustang 2. I don't know much about it. Yeah, you might be able to help me out there. We are on the original stock mic. It is a Mustang 2. I know there's about 7 tubes in there, and maybe you can kind of help me out with the rest of it.
Okay, it's a Mustang, but I can't remember who actually. I think it's a Metrotek. I think it's on the Metrotek. So I'm going to bring the Metrotek dial up, and I'll see if I can get a Mustang. I've got a Mustang. It might not be the 2, but that's what we're going to come up, and we'll go back to you. Nice radio. We'll come back to you for transmission, over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is. It says Mustang. There's an initial there between. Let me get a little light on the situation. Between the squelch and the volume there, there's a big M there with Metrotek on it. Yeah, that's what it says. It does have 4 knobs on it, and it seems like I think that. It might be okay. Maybe need a little more modulation.
You know, modulation-wise, it is not bad. The modulation sounds good. Doesn't sound like stock microphonium. Looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels mainly, possibly, and then you've got the tune, all 23 tune. The one I'm showing has got that red light and the clear light in the center, and then you've got a volume and a squelch, over.
Yeah, right below the red light there is the spotter switch, I guess. Let me get a little light on the situation. Yeah, there's a spotter switch right below the light as you key up, and there is a squelch, a volume, a tune knob, and your channel selector. And there's the spotter on there, and also the crystal switch for the extra crystal.
Hey, QTR, sounds like you put your radio station in my driveway tonight.
All right, we've got the short skip coming up great from up in the Northwest Territory. We've got Old Radio Night sounding good in the background here.
what you doing? Just driving through there, Brady?
I'm going to turn them down, but we will get them checked in as well. Now, I think your audio sounds really good. So you're not too close to the microphone. What was it? The microphone that's plugged into the radio, or did you add something over?
No, it's directly into the radio. The cord runs inside the radio from the front there, just below the channel selector. We're going to kind of try to keep it stock there if it does sound okay. I'm sure it's not a carbon mic. I don't think it rattles. But anyway, I did want to check it in there, and I know it's kind of tough tonight, but we'll try to hang with it.
No, you're actually sounding very good. I would definitely keep the stock microphone. It's got good fidelity, not crackling or popping when you key up, or is it key down? But anyway, sounds good. So leave it as is. That's the way we're showing it on the picture. It's making it through all. We've got some skipland coming in. It's making it through that. Got some other stations checking in, which we will get in a moment here. But you're going to be down for radio number 3, the Metrotek Mustang. And I was looking to see if I had a price point on the Metrotek Mustang. And no, we only have that one photo from Mark, N5 RPZ. But there's another early radio that were probably below $200. These were the affordable radios. They weren't the Trams, they weren't the Brownings, but a lot of people bought these radios because you could buy maybe 2 of them, get a base and a mobile like you were supposed to. Mustang, Metrotek. Doesn't that M looks a little bit spooky to me next to the speaker, over?
Yeah, it kind of resembles the M for McDonald's. Yeah, kind of. It is kind of spooky, like it was getting, between 2 walls getting crushed. But I did read that Metrotek on the bottom. The meter now hangs up a little bit on me. It's not moving like it should. And I did run a light magnet on the very front of it. And
821.
It'll move. So something's not generating the carrier. But I'll let Harvey look at that. Citizen band radios or transceiver is in cursive. That's kind of nice. Kind of nice to look at. It's beige, and the front of it, in the speaker area, is like a banana color.
It is. Well, the one we're showing has some special lights on it. But again, this is looking good. So don't. In fact, we got a couple of listeners. Don't touch it. Mustang sounds fine as is. Somebody saying agreed. So the general population listening in across the Universal Media Network says you've got a good radio. Put the post-it on it that says check it in next time, and don't touch a thing, over.
Okay, Dennis, doggone it. I appreciate that. The cord is like brand new on it, and the microphone is white. Good-looking radio. Thanks a whole lot, Dennis, and we got a few more warmed up.
All right, sounding good. The Old Tube Radio Network. Let me grab a couple of SWL check-ins here as we're jumping into the radios first tonight. SWL 11 and SWL 12. That's Dan. Let me get to the right picture here. I think it's something like that. Somewhere there's, there it is, SW 11 and 12, Dan and Dapper Dan. Also, hello, Charlie is in SWL 16. Said we were going to kind of mix it up tonight to keep things going, and it's working out well. SWL 31, Robert and Teresa out in Hendersonville, Tennessee tonight. Bogio 61, hello to you. Mark Sandquist, hello to you. We wished Foxman 362 a birthday. I think the party is still going on down in Old Radio Night. JT stopped by. I'm going to go back to the video where to find it, where it to still be there. Well, maybe it's gone. I did have a video for Old Radio Night up and running, but I don't see it anymore because he was still working the room, and I wanted to say hello to JT. But saw you guys in, and they're still live down there. Also, Captain Robert, having a safe week ahead. He's not a little bit under the weather, but joining us anyway. Now, that is a trooper for sure. SWL 103. Thanks, Captain Robert. Hang out with us tonight. Hang out with us tonight, and we will promise to make you feel better. SWL 103. Joey, we've got you checked in from upstate South Carolina. And we're looking for radio check-ins here at the Old Tube Radio Network.
How about this one?
That one sounds good. Over.
Yeah, check in my Golden Beagle R68T68 from Browning Laboratories, custom D104 with the Browning medallion on the back, and I'll be standing by. Oh, check in 29 and 54. Hey, I remembered, and me.
All right. Well, no, it's very loud. The ping is that radio never. I think in the thousands of times that it is checked in, the multiple thousands of times that it is checked in on the old Tube Radio Network, it has never failed to sound good. There's a picture of the Golden Eagle by Browning. The first set of radios, there was the Eagle, but this is the Golden Eagle, and it has, instead of what was the little silhouette, they went all out and had some place, somebody die cast or however they did it. I don't know if it's metal or plastic. I guess it's metal. Is the Eagle on your speaker, is that metal?
Yes, it is.
All right, sounds good. And you've got the ping going every which way. Over.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
And Jim is in. Let me go to the SWL's Boston 97. Saw you over on Old Radio Night on the birthday bash for Foxman. And tonight you're sitting there in front of the D104, the Tram Titan. We had a Tram Titan check-in last week, I think. The Maverick 250, what does JT call it? The reverse preamp into a Starduster, as I'm doing. I got the Starduster here, one of the new ones. They're a little bit flimsier, but they go together easy, and I like the adjustments. So I'll know when we get the first big wind and rainstorm if the lighter weight actually works. But amazing how well they do work for basically being, 4 mobile antennas all stuck together. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Jingle Singers are ready, and we are listening, of course, for your Tube Radio check-ins tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, sorry about that. Let me put the headphones down. I'm gonna stay keyed up. I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't know what that... They say do it again. All right. I like when I talk and my lips don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we hope the station for you is OTR.
135.
All right, we may have had two. I hear 135. Was there another station? I hear 135, and was there another station?
60.
All right, 60, standby. We'll be right with you, but we're going to head over to 135. Hello, Cliff. Over.
Hello, Dennis. Okay. I might be talking too close to the mic. Okay, let's try to do the quickest version we can. From Winnisquam, New Hampshire, this is the Tram Titan. There are 12 tubes, but all 23 channels, crystal-controlled transmit and VFO receive. Back to you.
That is a good choice, because at this moment, as we speak, SWL 97 is sitting in front of his Tram Titan radio. Probably dialed up, ready to go on channel 11. You know, I've got two pictures. I've got three pictures. None of them are showing up. Let me see. There's number one. Oh, that is yours. Let's go with that one. No, let me see what the other one is. Hold on before I unkey the radio here. Which one is that? That is nothing. All right, so we'll go back to the one we had that I know works, and I believe that is from your collection. We'll put it up onto the screen, like right there, and we'll go back to you for transmission. Over.
Okay. I'll assume you've got mine up there. I am not on the original mic right now. Although, as you can see from the picture, I do have the original mic. But this is the Pace P5538 handheld plastic unamplified hand mic that I originally wired up for this thing like about 35 years ago. And it's still working, still putting out. I cannot get my channel selector light to work, but you can't see that anyway. So we'll just pretend it does.
Anyway, yeah, great big tram radio coming at you. Well, let's let Joe go, unless you have any questions about it.
Oh, no, we've got a couple of questions, so do not go away. We're looking good. The band is good. You're already getting some good comments. Very loud modulation. Radio's a good keeper for sure. Sounds excellent. Coming in. That is the radio that we're showing on the photo here. That is the radio that Cliff 135 is in front of in his air chair. The dial light. So is it the dial light on, if not in the meter, right? Because sometimes you can tap it. That's what I do. You tap it and the light will come on really bright for about 3 seconds and probably not ever come on again. But in the picture, it's there. So we're going to live through your picture. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was glad I took that picture. It was one of the very, very rare occasions that all 3 lights were working. There is a light bulb behind the receive channel. Yeah, that's the big knob in the middle. There's another light bulb behind the meter, and there's another one which is way down where the crystals are that illuminates the transmit channel. And it has gone out, and I did exactly that. I got it working, and then it went out, and I kept tapping on it, and it stopped working. I'm going to have to replace it. But when I took the picture, all the lights were working, and that's, believe it or not, it's kind of a rare thing.
Sounded good. I just switched to the receive filter, the 12K filter, and man, what a difference. That has probably got some good 7 or 8K wide AM audio, because it even came out even louder and more fidelity when I went to the wide filter. So we'll leave it at that. I mean, I can run down to like anyway between 10 and 11 and still hear you just fine with the wide filter at all. Doing a good job. Be curious to see what it would sound like with a hand microphonium, but it is doing good. Love the rack handles. Who else had the rack handles? DAC had them, and the General Radio Telephone had them. And I'm not sure if that's the 18.5 inches wide where you could physically put it into a rack, but probably not. Over.
I'd have to measure it out. But the rack handles work for this thing. I am a bit low in frequency. Sorry about that. I tried to adjust that and couldn't make it any better. I'm at 0844, 0845. Oh, and this is, in fact, the hand microphone.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you said that. I was looking, I got confused. I'm looking at the picture, and you said it is not the one in the picture, so that's totally amazing. It reminds me of the Brownings, when you just keep the stock on the Browning, and it sounds good. Of course, this was the radio. If you could afford Browning, you might want this one, the Tram Titan. Titan was all steel tube chassis, AM only, with great transmit, as you are proving, and receive Collins mechanical filter in the front end. I'm using a Collins mechanical filter as well, but I just kind of bypassed it to check things in. And it gives a mic wiring for the 4-pin microphonium. And it says at ultituberadio.com you can go to Tram Titan something and get an instruction manual PDF if you don't know how to use it. But obviously you do, because it's sounding good. Love that it has the external crystal on the outside, so you can always have channel 11 ready to go. Back to you for one more transmission. We'll head over to Joe, but thanks for bringing by radio number 4 tonight, the Tram Titan. And yeah, Jim is confirming, 97 is confirming that is an aluminum chassis. And you're sounding good in Boston.
Oh, yeah. It's all aluminum. The case, the front, everything is aluminum. And yet it still weighs a metric ton somehow. And yeah, the crystal there by the channel, transmit channel selector, that's for a single receive channel crystal. Yeah, put in your favorite channel 11 receive crystal, which is a weird frequency. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, the original microphone that I have pictured there is non-amplified. It's a Turner like 254C, I think, but it's been Tram dolled them up for customized them, I should say. They were customized to go along with these things. So, it's painted black, has the Tram meatball in the middle, but underneath all that paint and stuff, it's still just a Tram 254, which is not amplified. And someday I hope to get mine sounding better, but this mic just sounds better with it right now. Anyway, thanks for letting me check it in. See you, in a couple of weeks?
In about a couple of weeks. I'll mention that. I'm going to be on a little hiatus away from the air chair next week and the week after next as well, I believe. So we'll figure out something. Maybe we'll have a best of, or maybe we'll just dial in the audio on the Universal Media Network to Channel 11 on a Saturday evening and see what goes on with the tube radios that are around here. Thanks for checking in. It sounds good. We've got some stations up on the Echolink link. We'll get to them after this next radio. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. We are at oldtuberadio.net, where you can have an audio stream if you wish, or a link to a video stream, or if you're lucky enough to be here locally, or perhaps on Skip. And Skip is running tonight. We've had a couple of check-ins from the north part of Washington, Oregon. Listen in and see if you can't grab us. Want to say hello to who is checking in? Gary, SWL28. Let me get you while you are here, as we're kind of mixing things up tonight so we can make sure we get radios in. We'll get everybody checked in. I will check the chat to make sure that anybody's stopping by. Hello to Jack 511 in Twain Hart, who, if you had a nice antenna, you might hear some of the stations down here in the Central Valley in Madera, Fresno, Clovis area up from Twain Hart. I know I have a good shot there up to you guys on 40 meters as well. UDX 133, hello, Ken, on the beautiful Central Coast. Wishing happy birthday to Foxman. And who else is there? Anyway, Neutral Observation, fantastic radio. I agree. Let's go to SWL60. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Dennis. Doggone it. Well, this old radio is getting nice and toasty. Dennis, from World Radio Labs, my Hustler bass. 7 tubes, 8 channels, unless things have changed, it's my Pretty Blue radio.
Yes, it is. And, I was searching under R for the Robins. The audio is so good. I think it's getting better. As we check that radio in week after week, month after month, year after year, it seems to be getting louder. And I was on the Robins, and when you said the World Radio Labs, I said, oh, yeah, that's the little 7-tube radio that could. We've got a picture of the Blue radio from Leo Meyerson World Radio Labs. Some of you might have, maybe you had a Globe King 500 that weighed, 85 or 90 pounds. This is a very small version of that, and they even threw in a receiver. Back to you for a transmission.
Yes, it is, Dennis. Doggone it, and a handsome little rascal, too. It has its carrying handle. It has its hardware for a little mic hanger there, so in case you want to slip it in your mobile. Right now I'm on a Turner Plus 3. The original mic I have, and it had been replaced with a Turner Plus 3 thanks to Harvey. He set that plug in the front so I could use this microphone. I did a little fine-tuning on it, but I didn't have to go very far with it. You sound so good with that new antenna. I'm starting to get jealous on this end.
Well, see, I always try to talk to people that have good receivers. It's sort of like a compliment. You always get a good compliment when somebody you talk to has a good receiver saying, you sound great. It's like, well, kind of not really. It's like somebody who takes their glasses off and say, well, you look good today, right? But anyway, I appreciate the flowers. Speaking of flowers, you were getting a couple of them on the chat tonight. And as always, your radios tend to bring out the XYLs, thinking, you know what? Because we have the radios that check in, and they've got the rack handles, and they look like something to be on the workbench. And then there's these radios here, the blue radios and the green radios that are color-coordinated and thematic, and maybe would match something. Maybe they would look good in the living room, right, or up on the kitchen cabinet. And here is one of them. It's not overdone. Not overly utilitarian, but it's got the nice blue, even the microphonium as well, so not bad. Convection cooling, there's holes in the top because there's tubes in there and it gets warm. Can you make popcorn on the top? No, it's not a Robin. Back to you for a transmission.
Yeah, okay. No, skip the popcorn, maybe Pop-Tarts. Maybe some Pop-Tarts would be fine up there. Okay, Dennis, I sure appreciate you letting me check in my pretty blue radio here from World Radio Labs. The Hustler Bass, and I got another one warming up.
All right, good deal. The Old Tube Radio Network. I'm going to bring the Jingle Singers in, and then we're going to head over to the Echolink link. I'm going to pick up a couple of the stations there, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, and maybe even you. Let me bring up the transmitter on the Echolink link, and we'll say hello, radio. Let's go over to Tony and see what is happening in the world of tubes way out there. Oops, it doesn't work unless I turn my transmitter off. Here we go. So Tony kicking in right now.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. Back to net control, KD4BAF.
All right, it's good to be heard. Got to make sure I'm transmitting and receiving in the right way. Tony coming in on the Echolink link. He will be firing up the tubes, the TOTA, tubes on the air. He's got it fired up. We sort of threw you a curve tonight and getting the tube radios in at the top of the first hour and throughout the evening to make sure that we get them all in and spread across the Universal Media Netweb. So a little extra work for you tonight, but you handled it great. Thanks for jumping in, and always good to hear you on the West Coast here on the Old Tube Radio Network. 73 from... And then I want to do one more. Albert is out there listening, so I'll take a transmission.
Audio dropped.
So we'll see if we can get... All right. I'm having a link up here. We should get... Let me get rid of the transmitter. What happens is if I don't have the bar on there. All right, Al, back to you. I got my transmitter off. Take a transmission. All right, now we're on. Now we're in sync. I don't think he's listening, but we'll come back to Albert on the Echolink. And somebody is checking. Who's that in Skipland? Over.
Audio.
All right, was that a 79? Over.
Copy that.
All right, we'll get you checked in on the SWL site. Sounding good.
Okay, there we go. Now I see the modulation meter. The microphone wasn't
all right, and we got an Echolink. I hear somebody 28.
It's good to be here with you.
Let me check the Echolink and we'll be right back to you.
Old Tube Radio Network radio. I'm looking forward to what's going to be shown tonight, and I like what you've shown so far. It's all looking good. I'm going to just sign off with it's good to hear you.
All right, well, it's good to be heard. It's good to be heard, and thanks for jumping in tonight and being ready on the go. Sounding good from Nevada tonight on the Echolink link. Thanks for joining us, and we're going to go back to the radio, 73, from... All right, back to the control room. Getting this thing coordinated is wackier. Let's see, who else jumped in? Maniac 207. Douglas, thanks to you. Private Thor, I don't know. I think we can hear you guys tonight. I hope you're out in the mobile because we've been here in the Northwest. Rob So thank you for the format change. We're giving it a shot. I think we could have some wackiness, but we are ready for that.
AJ6 PD on Echolink. Can I get early check-in, please?
Yeah, and let's get Tony while we're here. Let me make sure that Tony's got it. Hey, Tony, we got you checked in. You're sounding good. Welcome back to the Central Valley, and we've got you checked in. Over.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Sorry for the interruption. Have a good night.
Hey, not a problem, Tony. We got you checked in, and I think I got the questions. I may do that a little bit later. Always thanks for your extra effort to get those to me. 73 from KB6G Update. And I do hear it was a 28 or a 128 in the noise. We'll be listening for you, so keep on trying because we do have some conditions going on tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for local radio check-ins. Over.
60.
All right, says 60. Hang on just a second. Who is the, and help me out here if anybody's listening, who is the 28 or 128? Over? Well, it sounds like 128, but I'm thinking, could that be West Virginia coming in there? I'm not sure. I'm going to take a look at my other list, see who's in tonight. Bill, SWL 67 from Oregon, we've got you. And 128, I do see it about an hour ago. SWL 71, Stan also checking in, and Joey we got. So I'll get 71, 128, and 67. And then hang on, Joe, one more time. Who is out there calling? Over?
You should not be in the hammer.
All right, still kind of in my noise, but that's my fault. Let me clear the screen here, and Joe, take a transmission. Over.
Dennis, I think you said something about a ham radio, that he's on a ham radio. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard him say.
Yeah, I thought I heard something about being on a ham radio or not on a ham radio or something like that. We take everybody here. You can be on a ham radio. You can be on a mud duck radio. You can be on, the ham and cheese radio, or you can be on the radio that this guy's checking in on. Tell us about it, Joe.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it. I'd like to check in my Johnson, my TOO. I've got a couple of them here that are warming up pretty nice. And for the Johnson lovers out there, the black-faced TOO, we got 10 tubes here. 10 tubes and 10 channels. And we are on a preamplified D104, if you can hear me okay.
I can hear you great. The Messenger TWO, I'm going to bring it up on the Rolodex here. Also, we're getting a lot of the low-level skip. You can hear the carriers coming in, and that's usually an indication that we do have some good E-skip conditions. If anybody's got 10 meters, I bet if you were to jump over to 10 meters here, at least on the West Coast, you're going to see some beacons coming in. And so the band might be open. Also, if you have 6 meters, usually when we have conditions like this, 6-meter radio might come in as well. And I know there's a VHF contest this weekend, but it's for 220 and above. But we're having some good time here on 10 and 11 meters. So we've got the Messenger TWO. It's working great. Give us another transmission. Over.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it. We kind of like this radio, and a lot of Johnson radios, for that matter. Johnson, boy, I'm telling you, they didn't, they just made radios. What I'm trying to say is they just made radios for everyone. They went, clear back to the walkie-talkie radios, every house radio, apartments, businesses. Doggone it, I'm pleased to have this one here, and I'll key up on another one here in a minute. But doggone it, this one for sure would be my little business radio if I had one.
Well, yeah, you're giving us the business, the good business. Edgar F. E.F. Johnson is now a JVC Kenwood company. So if you search for E.F. Johnson, it'll come up, but they're part of JVC Kenwood. They've been that way for a while. I don't know if you could walk in the door and say, oh, by the way, here's my messenger TWO. Could you give me a crystal? Over.
Oh, I bet. I bet they wouldn't have a problem doing that. These guys manufactured a lot of tube radios in their day, and well, I've got literature here that it amazes me the beauty in a lot of those mobiles and bases. I'm glad to have a couple of them here, and I'm really enjoying them. But anyway, getting back to this one here, there, Dennis, we got a few features on it. It does have a couple of black dials on the top with the indicator and the channel selector. And you got your volume and your squelch. And a light, of course, behind the screen, I should say. It's on right now, and it gives me a little flash every now and then, almost to act like a modulation light.
That's sort of what it would do. They're the Johnson Viking Messenger, the Messenger 2 with some upgrades in the receiver and the extra channel, and then the 223, which is basically that radio stuck in the case without the 12-volt capability, and then they added the 23 channels and the S-meter. So for 10 years, E.F. Johnson, from 1960-59 to about 1970-72, were making these tube radios. But somewhere in the late 60s, they started, the first ones started putting out the solid-state radios for mobile use. They knew that was probably a better way to go, and a lot of them still out there. The quick, we've said it before, but we'll do the quick rundown. 1923, it's been 100 years. E.F. Johnson Company, founded in Waseca, Minnesota by Edgar F. Johnson. The company begins a mail-order business selling radio transmitting parts to amateurs and early radio broadcasters. In the 1940s, World War II, the company devotes 100% of its production to defense needs and wins the prestigious Army-Navy E Award. In 1961, E.F. Johnson enters the business industrial radio market with the Messenger 202 AM transceiver. 1949, Viking 1 is developed for AM on the ham bands. 1972, Mr. Johnson accompanies U.S. President Richard M. Nixon to China as a representative of American business. So back in 1972, when that radio was about 10 years old or 5 years old, and again, they're still going strong. 1981, Mr. Johnson, who retired in 1983, passes away, and they are still doing their thing. So a good history on that radio, and thanks for bringing it back to you for transmission. Over.
Braco TR.
All right, thank you, Joe, for the E.F. Johnson. And the Braco TR, go ahead. Over.
Hey, Dennis, this is 93. Just wanted to see if it wasn't too late to get checked in. Had a late day. Spent the day with the family up at Edison Lake, so I was hoping to get back in time and at least check in.
No, you're doing well. We are on a little different format tonight, taking the SWL check-ins as they come in, checking the radios, as many as we can here at the beginning of the net. You are sounding good. It is great. Isn't it great weather? Can you believe this is July and August, and we are having perfect weather to be out somewhere? I'm just surprised that people are actually jumping in to the radio room and sweating a little bit to get in here, but it is a good thing. So we got you checked in, and you're sounding good. Over.
Thank you, sir. Everybody have a good night. 93 STD, I'm gone.
And speaking of that, are there any other SWLs that are standing out there listening in tonight? We'll get you checked in right now. Over.
Yeah, Braco TR.
Braco TR, go ahead. Over.
Hey, you got 53 checking in there, Dennis.
All right, 53, the legend, and we'll get your number up on the big board. I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for remembering this is your Saturday night place to be.
Thank you, Dennis. Bye-bye.
And we are kind of floating in and out of some sporadic E-skip up and down the west coast here. Maybe we'll get some ducting and hear the guys from northern and central California. In the meantime, if you've got a tube of radio here locally, we'd like to hear it. OTR standing by. I didn't check. Let me see. I think I could still go over to Old Radio Night. Are they still on? Bringing some audio up here from...
That's it. We got it over there, the little...
ORN. They're still running.
There.
They're running late tonight.
Man, I wouldn't eat nothing out of there but a...
They're down on
boiled
17.
egg and a coconut.
And the
That's
radio
right.
of interest
so when
tonight...
it come to real cold and we come in there, that thing smoking, he said, y'all been over there
It
again?
doesn't say.
Yeah.
I think it's the Lafayette.
That sure smells good. How much that cost again?
Let's bring up the...
you don't want to eat that.
The video from ORN.
Hey, y'all go to Burger King. I'm going to a little
Excalibur. The Excalibur is the radio.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Listening on 17. Go over to ORN and tell them they're sounding good in the Old Tube Radio Network.
Y'all can go to Burger King. I'm going to go find the little brown shack. They got real food.
The little brown shack. Where it's coming at.
Someone said it's time for the jingle singers. We're going to work them. We're going to make them earn their money tonight. What little they make. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Oh yeah, somebody did say Fresno, and they said wonderful in almost the same sentence. Let's check the DX map. Thanks for the hint on that one. It should be what page is this going to be on? It's going to be right here, and it's showing everything. Okay, there it is. There's our 10 meter. It's still pretty open. Look at that. We've got south. There's the Oregon and Washington. I don't know why it's scrolling through everybody else, but it'll come back. There it is. United States. I don't know. We might be able to hear ORN. And up there in British Columbia, Ontario, we could have some wide open DX tonight. Let me check map number 2. And you can see we've got some spots kind of the same way, up and around. So we've got the 500, 1,000 mile short skip going on tonight. What is interesting, I find, is we're not getting anything from Hawaii, and there it is. There's no nothing on that. We're not getting anything from Australia. That's not lit up, so it's all the short, sporadic E coming across tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, we're standing by.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR 1017. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's get 42 checked in the gang, and go ahead and throw me in there. And I hope everybody's having a good evening. And boy, wonderful weather right now, I'll tell you.
It is great. It's a little warm in here with all the tube radios, but I don't know. I keep saying we should. We got a battery pack. Maybe we'll have to go outside tonight. All right, 77 in, and we get 42, and all the gang on that as well. Thanks for stopping by. The radio is sounding excellent. As you heard, we've got some skip floating in. Still waiting for Chrissy and Dwayne. I know they're out there. If they're by the radio, we should hear them tonight as well. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, thank you. And yeah, that's the ground-mounted J-pole.
All right, the Old Tube Radio Network. Who's got a radio to check in here at the top of the hour? Okay, I've got to do the top of the hour ID. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, and there is some confusion, and you have a good reason to be confused because we're kind of turning things up and around. Maniac 207 listening in on the Chris 23 Plus. We do have one of those radios checking in occasionally. Let me go into the control room tonight and grab the SWLs as they check in. We're making sure that we get the radio check-ins tonight. Starting at the top of the hour number 2, and we'll take anything at any time. 102, John, there you are. Thanks for jumping in. So no problem with that. Pull out your number or just say hello, radio. Of course, you know you don't need any number. You don't need any numbers to get in here on the Old Tube Radio Network, and of course, we want to hear the radios tonight. Walker Customs 409, thanks for joining us. The Old Tube Radio Network here in Central California. We have been doing this on the air Saturday evenings around 8 o'clock Pacific time since the late and mid-1980s, and I kid you not, some of these stations you're hearing checking in have been doing that for close to 40 years. OTR listening, we're listening for any and all check-ins.
Well, you got Mongoose up here in Southern Oregon.
All right, Mongoose up in Southern Oregon, thanks. The Old Tube Radio Network, we're live here in Central California, listening for those glow-in-the-dark tube radios. We're also streaming live on your Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net. Check it out. There's a video going on as well. Good to have the sporadic-y skip coming in up and down the coast. Thanks for joining us here. Over.
All righty, man. Sounds good. Sound nice, clear radio station. Nice, sounds like a nice quality AM broadcast coming from your end.
Yeah, I was just about to say likewise. We're listening on the 12K filter, super wide audio. So if you want to hear the replay, you can go to oldtuberadio.net and scroll back and hear what kind of mellifluousness you're putting in here in Central California. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely will check it out. You guys have a great evening. Mongoose up here in Southern Oregon. We'll see you.
All right, big signal and nice, smooth audio. But the way it used to be, right, before things got out of control. Mongoose sounding good. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for any and all. Looking for those tube radio check-ins.
60.
60. You have the floor. The spotlight is coming down on you. Can you feel it? Go ahead.
Well, I tell you, I can feel the heat. I can definitely feel the heat that fell out of Oregon. Sure sounds good. Dennis, let's get 650 checked in, and Kenny up there in Oklahoma.
Right back there, Wiki Wax, up there, Big Bear Mongoose.
Old box there, and we'd like to give him a shout out, and Martha, give her a shout out too. It was her birthday the other day, and we don't want to let her forget it. All month it'll be her birthday. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Robin, my 123B.
Yeah, a lot of birthdays coming up. 362 is tomorrow. I think Jim, Boston 97 is Monday. Kenny jumped in earlier, earlier before we signed on the radio, and I got him checked in, so we got another birthday going on as well. And the Robin T123B, I will bring up a photo of that, which I think is, no, it's not that. It's definitely not that. It should look more like something. Oh, I got to click on, the chat is saying, you got to click on the picture or you're not going to see anything. There we go. All right, now we got the radio. Take a transmission.
Okay. Doggone it. My pretty green radio there, Dennis. Yeah, with a lot of good features on it. And doggone it, 11 tubes, I think. 11 tubes, 23 channels. I hope Christy's listening. 23 channels, and about 6, 7, 8, 9 channels extra.
Now, you've got to switch. We don't show it on here, but it's an addition where they went in and did some trickery to get you. This is, back before 1976 when these were produced, and it was still 23 channels per the FCC rules, even though a lot of people were up above channel 23 with some switch trickery and crystal swapping and I don't know, whatever they did. And yours has the ability to do that. But here on Channel 11, and that's why we're here on Channel 11, because the older tube radios usually came with the call channel crystal in there. So we kind of try and stay put like that. Radio sounds good. It looks good. Good to hear you on the radio tonight.
And yes, Joe, I am listening.
Okay.
We got a lot of listeners, over.
Go ahead, listener.
Well, I thought you said you hoped y'all was listening. I just thought I'd let you know, yeah, I'm listening.
Appreciate that. Hey, Dennis.
All right, anyway, we got the radio up. I'll leave it up there, and we'll take a... Don't go away, Joe. I want another transmission on that Robin. Hello to the Ontario CB Radio Club 90CDX group listening in. A couple other stations joining us via skip when we actually make it through. Hello to York, Pennsylvania, Lake Elsinore. Oh, Lake Elsinore, 78 I'll get you checked in. Plymouth, Minnesota, Edmonds, Washington, Sacramento, California, Derby, New York, right at the top. Did I get you checked in, Chet? I will do that as well. Hello, Harvey.
Isn't it so nice tonight?
As we say on Armature Radio, November, India, Charlie, Echo, and it's about that time, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's just so nice tonight.
Doing a good thing. Let me go back to the control room and get a couple other stations. That would be Red Fox 1, SWL 76. Put your number on the chart here, and likewise, since we're on the 70s row, 78 in beautiful Lake Elsinore. And Rick, I was listening to you guys up on 40 meters. I didn't take a transmission the other day, but you were sounding. Everybody was sounding good.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR. I know that guy. Take a transmission, sir.
Yes, sir, Dennis. SWL 51 from Sanger checking in.
Okay, I'm saying everybody sounds good, and I realize I'm listening on the. I took the filtering. I'm listening on the super wide filter with the Collins mechanical in there. So when somebody is doing the audio thing, it just sounds good in the headphones, and it is a good thing. Sounding good, no problems tonight. Got you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Oh, and you remind me next week. Which is the 9th, the 8th. Let's see, take 2 and add 7. Then the 9th, and then after that, the 16th. I will most definitely likely be out of the air chair. I think the word is hiatus, something like that. Well, we'll see what we can do. There may be so check in. There may be something up on the audio stream, or maybe something on the video stream. I'm not sure what kind of trickery we can do. Chet's saying, no, they don't. That big extension cord, we've been putting together the 1,000-mile extension cord, but that may not work. We'll see what happens. If in the meantime, you can look at it as like a little 2-week vacation, but we will be coming back on your old tube radio network, but we'll see. Anyway, we don't usually jump out of the air chair unless we've got something going on at the radio station. This is a little different, but we will be around. Maybe I'll be able to tune in. We'll do something. So, who else needs to check in? We're taking SWL check-ins, radio check-ins, and there's Greg. Let me pause a second. S9 Radio. I heard them talking to you, so I know you're listening. But we don't have the short skip. We don't have the ducting going on, which is what I would need to talk to you guys down there. SoCal checking in. Still hoping for that sporadic e-contact. Just flew right over the top. Yeah, you were hitting Southern Oregon. I heard him chatting with you. So. Thanks for that. And they're gone. We're getting that. It's like 6 meters. The stuff is coming in strong for about 5 minutes, and then away it goes. And I haven't gone up to 10 meters to see what the beacons are like. So S9 Radio, keep the videos coming in, enjoying the DAC videos and all the other items. I am going to be, hopefully, sometime working on the Imperial, Regency Imperial, and some other radios as well. Looking good. OTR is going to stop talking so we can check in some radios. Go ahead.
How about one from the Radio Lounge?
We love the Radio Lounge, as do you. Isn't it a great Radio Lounge night, a Radio Lounge day, a Radio Lounge month? You know, this is probably the last couple of days until reality sets in, and then we find out, yes, we are in the Central Valley of California as we look at the thermometer. Go ahead, sir.
Quite true. Well, for your listening pleasure, I have my Robin T123 with the... I always forget the 6RE13 Magic Eye tube, I believe it is.
Indeed. I've got the SWL47 checked in, and then we're going to and it's ROBYN if anybody's doing a search. And the 123, earlier we had the 123B. This is the radio that they stopped producing in 1972 to work with the Panasonic chassis, but here you go. Good stuff. And the Magic Eye tube, an extra tube right in the center. They cut a hole They escutcheon, is that what they call it? They cut a hole in the front of the radio, kind of bevel it off, and they stick the tube right in front so you can watch it, take a transmission.
Yeah, well, you can definitely see it doing its business right now. It was kind of interesting last week when I was kind of playing, not really aiming right towards the microphone, but I'll tell you what, this thing was bottomed out. I hope my playing did not, I hope it wasn't overdriven. But this radio is great to use, especially, this time of night when it's getting a little bit on the late side. You don't have to scream into it, probably thanks in large part to the amplified D104 that I've got right now. Fun mic to use, especially if you need to play something on it. It's got that lock to talk thing going on there.
It does. I'm looking to see. I've got the negative preamp on, so everybody watching the S meter, the S meter is low. The signals coming in are low on the scale, but I'm trying to reduce the noise level down to 0 with a little bit of RF gain reduction. So that's what's going on in the S meter when I've got the quad split up, as I do now. Shows the transmitter on my side and then the receive on the other side. Boy, it sounds good, and you've got the microphone adjusted perfectly. Sometimes on a radio like that's typically loud anyway, and has the ability to do some range boosting on the audio. You put an amplified microphonium, and you'll hear background noise and echo off the walls and all that. Not hearing any of that, just perfect radio, and you're at the perfect spot where the full frequency fidelity, as we say on armature radio, your mellifluousness is coming through. Back to you.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, this radio...
John, if you can hear me.
This radio, let me do something here. This radio has definitely been fun to use on the road. I'm not doing that right now, obviously. But I think, out of my collection, I think it's been the most bulletproof and, therefore, really easy to take on the road. And the fact that it's a one-piece radio tube makes it really, really easy to do. I do have to ask a question, though. I am looking at the S meter, and I don't know if you have a picture of 135's, Robin, or anyone else's for that matter. And I'm wondering if you can tell me if the light bulb that illuminates the S meter, there is a light bulb kind of on top there. I've never noticed this. It looks kind of red or orange. I don't know if that's a light bulb going out. I don't know if that's normal and I just haven't noticed it. I don't know if something has crawled up there and died. I don't know if you want to comment on that. What color is the light in the S meter?
And I'm not sure. Here we go. Test. Okay, not sure if Cliff is listening or not, but I'm looking at his picture, and now that you mention it, and it's hard to tell because he does some great lighting on the radios to try and make them look true. And notice he does the backlight, not too much, and usually the radio is receiving, and this one looks like he's got the transmitter going. So, okay, here's something. If he's got the transmitter going, which he does, because you can see the magic eye tube, and the only way that magic eye tube is going to flutter, it's for transmit audio. It's not for receive, because some of the magic eyes were used for receive signal strength. There is a red glow, a red tint to the meter. Now, if we go back to the Regency Imperials that had two lights in the meter, they had the clear, regular incandescent, and they also had a red light. So when you hit the transmitter, the red light would add on the S meter, and it would go red during transmit. So I know you may not catch the color, but you might catch the fact that something is going on. So keep an eye on your S meter, and when you transmit, see if it looks like there's something going on. And if so, that's what's happening. It's probably adding a red light in addition to whatever they're doing when you transmit over.
Testing. No, I don't think it's changing much at all. But I have to say that is obscenely cool. If indeed there is another radio that has a red lamp come on whenever you're transmitting, and that signifies that the S meter is, well, no, because if you're transmitting, it wouldn't. No, actually, that would kind of make sense. Let me make sure I followed you correctly. So like on this other radio that you're talking about, if it's just receiving, we'll say that the window's white or whatever. And then when you're transmitting, you said it added a red hue to it with a separate light bulb. If so, that's like really cool.
Yeah, that is correct. It adds a red light coming on, sort of like the, oh, you're on the air light. Some of the old Radio Shack, the Realistic Navajo had the on-the-air light, and then it had a modulation. So you'd key it, and the on-the-air would come on, and then you'd have a separate light underneath that with the modulation that flashed with your audio. You've got basically the same thing here. You've got what's much cooler. They're using the Magic Eye Tube, which is your modulation indicator. Doesn't have to say on the air or anything. You know it's on the air when it's moving, or not if you're not getting audio. But you may have a red. So we'll have to, if Cliff gets out there or somebody, there's not that many that have the 123. A lot of 123Bs, and they're totally different. And if any of the SWLs listening can chime in, that may be what's happening. Maybe it's red all the time, but I definitely do see a reddish glow on the one we're showing from Cliff, but he has the radio in transmit mode, so that could be a clue. Over.
Okay, well, there it is. I got homework now. Take the top of the cage off and check it out. All right. Well, thanks for letting me check it in. Everyone sounds great tonight, and there it is. I think for a while. 73 from the lounge.
All right, and Jim is Boston 97 saying, "Oh yes, the old red bulb trick." I think. We might have to pull down the cone of silence to talk about that. So that's all we're going to say, lest we get in trouble. Over.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, I'm going to call you in a minute.
Okay, I'll be listening.
Great night tonight, great weather, nice clear frequency. We've had I call it the jump rope skip. You know, we go back to the archives, and there's the blanket skip at the beginning of the net where nobody hears anybody. And then there's this jump rope skip. It sort of comes in, takes a few hops, and jumps out. Comes in, takes a few hops, and jumps out. And everybody jumping in, saying hello to OTR. Some of them having a radio, so we're enjoying that tonight. I know some of the listeners are letting us know that they are hearing us tonight, SWLing up and down the West Coast tonight. So good stuff. That's sort of what happens during the summertime. We're keeping our fingers crossed for a little bit of tropospheric ducting up and down the state, and maybe we'll get a chime in from John Motormouth Mall or Greg S9 Radio or somebody. We'll see what's happening. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, listening for any and all check-ins. We'll go to the Jingle Singers, and then I know I've got the questions of the evening. We'll see if those are around and do some of that as well. The Old Tube Radio Network.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Contact.
This is the contact frequency. Go ahead.
Hey, Dennis. 70 checking in. Good to hear you. You're a solid 5'9" up here.
I'm 599. If I would go do my tone, well, that wouldn't be a RST. That would definitely not be a 9 on the T. Let me grab the SWL item of interest. Yeah, we're mixing it up tonight, getting the radios in when we can, getting the check-ins like you're doing when you show up and say hello, radio. And there's the 70 looking good and enjoying the weather. Over.
Perfect. And your tone is fine too, so I'll give you a 599. All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, there was a bit of a chirp, and I'm sure it would be off frequency. You are sounding good. Thanks for joining us tonight. Who is 510, UDX 510? The Yank Wrencher, hello. Thanks for joining us. The Old Tube Radio Network at oldtuberadio.net. Channel 11, 27085 is where we are at. And I will find the email. And Tony does a good job of sending me stuff, so we'll see if I can't find the Friday questions. And I thought I heard a Browning Eagle key up. Is that Skip Land? Well, we'll listen. We're here. We're taking all the check-ins. Here we go. Questions. Question number 1. What was the final? It's a tube question. I like that. What was the final audio output tube of a 5-tube radio of the 1950s, 60s era? So this is 50s and 60s radio. It's a final audio output tube. So I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be a transmitter. Can be your old Gilfillan radio sitting up on the cabinet, or an RCA or Zenith shutter dial. What was the final audio output tube of a 5-tube? And I don't know why they're saying 5-tube. That sounds like there could be, something about that. Because I know sometimes the tubes, they would add the voltage up to make 110 or something. So that could be a clue. All right, final output tube of a 5-tube radio in the 60s and 70s. So is it a 50C5, a 35W4? A 12BA6 or a 12BE6. So I'm thinking we're 5 tubes. You got to add those voltages up to make everything out. Was it a transformer list? The kind of radio that would kill you if you touched the wrong part in the back. So without looking, I'm going to say it's probably either A or B. It's probably a 50C5 or a 35W4, so you could add the other tubes, because you only have 4 more tubes. So if you were 4 times 6 is 24, or 4 times 12 is 48, 48 and 35. So, all right, I don't know. I'll guess a 50C5. I don't even know what that is. 12BE6. All right, we got a 6AQ5. We know that's not. Here's the answers again. Remember, clue. It's a 5-tube radio of the 50s and 60s, and it's the audio output tube. So it's a 50C5, a 35W4. A 12BA6 or a 12BE6. So do the math on that one. I'll stand by here.
35W4.
All right, we got one for 35W4. We've got one for 12BA6. I just said the 50C5. SWL38 Sam, I've got you. Al's also 50C5 All-American 5 AM radio. And I guess one of the 12-volt tubes, and 12BE6. All right, the actual answer is, let me scroll down. The answer is the 50C5. Okay, but there's no explanation. But I think that's why, because the tube voltages had to add up to whatever you were plugging into the wall. And Harvey, do you have in your tube caddy a 50C5? Probably you wouldn't need one. Certainly wouldn't need one for a tube radio transmitter, but the old portable wooden radios, maybe. 50-volt filament, I know. I'm saying the same thing, but I think it has to add up. All right, here we go. True or false? Easy for you to say. True or false? Technically speaking, you can operate a linear Class A amplifier on FM. All right, I don't know a thing about linear. So technically speaking, what does that mean? It's like saying, well, basically, I know what I'm talking about. True or false? Technically speaking, you can operate a linear Class A, and that might be the clue there, amplifier on FM. So anybody know their amplifiers, and are you doing that right now? And Gordon, 462 Scarecrow. We checked the chart. There is no skip coming. It was coming in at about 7 p.m. our time, which is, your time today or yesterday for us. And we're not hearing anything right now from New Zealand and Australia, but they're watching and listening. And we could float in. So thanks for joining us, the Old Tube Radio Network, where it is 25 minutes after 9 p.m., 4:25 on the UTC. All right, true or false? Technically speaking, you can operate a linear Class A amplifier on FM. Well, they have, is there an FM mode switch on the Heathkit thing? I'm going to say no. Amps on FM are rough on a radio. Yeah, I would, thank you, Jack. I would say that is possibly true. Tom Blake says true. William says true. Somebody says you can do it on GMRS, and the answer is true. But using a Class A amplifier for FM can be considered overkill, in capital letters. Overkill because FM doesn't require the high linearity that Class A amplifiers provide. So there you go. It's possible, but overkill. So use whatever it's supposed to be. What was the FM amplifiers used to come with the 2-meter radio? All right, that's all I know, and that's the answers as I read them, because I'm not I'm not smart enough to know the answer. The Old Tube Radio Network. We are listening for any and all check-ins. Over. And Montgomery, he's all for overkill. That is sort of the watchword on anybody been on CB radio for the last 35 years? That overkill is sort of the watchword, I think. And you can hear way down on my noise level. I've got the negative preamp on. If I had a beam, probably a horizontal beam, we'd be hearing and stuff. So bet there's some 10-meter beacons. The skip is there. We are standing by for your tube radio check-ins.
Hello, 511, you're 141, going to jump in with your hand too. Hello, 511, 141, mini grass, Maui with the wave.
All right, here's what's going on, and I'll bring on the DX. We are getting now the gray line. Let's see if I get a gray line map. This isn't showing the gray line. We're getting the gray line now from Hawaii. They're lighting up. There it is. There's the coast, Australia, New Zealand. Anything there? Anybody? We're looking for the color right there. That's the 10-meter stuff. So the band is opening up as we get the gray line happening as we go across the Pacific. Let's see if this shows a gray line. I used to have one that would show. Oh, you know what? The one that shows the gray line. I'll find that for you. Anyway, the Old Tube Radio Network. We're listening. There you go. There's your gray line map, and it's not even updated. That's supposed to update. There it goes. There's the updated gray line. You can see we're coming right into, that is Hawaii right there, out in the ocean. That's coming up, and that's why we're going to be hearing them.
193 on the meter station, I'll be in the clear.
And 195, I still hear you. Over. Yeah, we know we're getting the gray line for them, so they're coming in. But you're sounding good. 00195. And Hans, you're right. I forget about that. The Class A that's in the FT5000. But you know what? It does this bias thing, and it runs super hot. You run that radio at 5 watts Class A, even though it only goes to 75. Run it way down, because the bias is cranked way up. And that thing runs hot as a pistol. I did some studying about that, and the Yaesu techs, they don't tell you this, but the Yaesu techs, under their breath say, do not run the 5000 in Class A. And I think it's because the radios that come in for repair with the burned up finals are the guys running them in Class A because of how they have the bias cranked up. And there's an adjustment for that. But I used to do that, thinking the audio would be better, and that radio would get so hot, and I'm running way low. So I stopped running the Class A because the radio runs so hot, and then confirmed that with a couple of Yaesu techs saying, yeah, don't do that. We won't tell you. We didn't tell you that, but don't do that. So, and that's running sideband and AM, and I don't know about FM. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for any and all check-ins.
Try one more time. SWL 60.
60, you are sounding good. Over.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Johnson 223.
Just remember,
my little pretty Johnson, I should say. Doggone it, well into the radio. 10 tunes, all 23 channels on the stock Johnson mic.
All right, we got you. Skip coming in from the Pacific. Given a little bit of competition, but not a problem. I will find the 223. I got a couple of shots here, so we'll do both of them when we can. The Messenger 223. It's the Messenger 2 like we had before, turned sideways, I think, in the case. Here's another radio that looks great. On any bench, whether it's in the garage or in the house, built like a tank. Had its own microphone, and it's a base radio only. There is no provision for a cord to run this thing 12-volt DC because they wanted you to buy their solid-state radios that were coming out at that time. Over to you for a transmission.
Yeah, doggone it, and we were kind of lucky to get the mic to come with it there. Doggone it, it's been a while. I've been wanting to do some upgrade on it, but I'll leave it the way it is. With my wind behind it, I think I can get out okay. Dennis, there's nothing fancy about this radio. On the backside, just a hard wire plug going into the AC. And in the front, of course, you got a well-lit radio. The dial's lit. Only 9 is colored, the old emergency channels. And the meter's fantastic. A great big meter, no problem seeing it. Well-lit meter and dial, and of course, you got your volume and your squelch. Not much to mess with. A good beginner's radio, or a radio I think that anyone could just use it for a lifetime.
Yeah, as you can. E.F. Johnson back in 1923, starting his company, wondering, and here it is 100 years later, and his stuff is still. It's the 21st century and it's still sounding good. Here's the Messenger 223 if you're watching the video. This is without the modulation light, and I think this would be an earlier model. Very, very basic. What was good about these, and I kind of started my CB career back in 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. There was a lot of these 223 radios. Why? Well, because E.F. Johnson was a good distributor for whoever was selling them, at the electronics store. 2, the inflation that started happening in the late 60s, 68, 69, 70, the price of these radios was about $200, $225 with the supplied microphone. And so when you went in with, you heard your buddies with the Brownings and the Trams and the Demco satellites, and you said, that's what I'm getting. And you walked into the place and you found out those radios were $400 and $500. They sure looked nice. And you realized you could get one of these for $200. If you were on a budget, this is what you went home with. What's the difference? Well, nothing. Except, like Joe said, so it's simple. You got your 22 channels, you got your S meter. Yeah, what am I hitting you with? At least you got a meter. Got a nice front fire speaker. It's made by E.F. Johnson. You can't go wrong. The company's still in business, so they can service the thing. And if you were thinking, I don't need to tune and load and spot, there you go. Volume, squelch, find your channel, and it lights up and it works well. So, Joe, I bet you like that radio. Over.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I've been in love with it since the first day I got it. And this was thanks to Louis, number 93, I think. At that time there, when he asked me if, when he told me that he had a radio for sale, I said, you know what, I'll be right over. And when I saw this radio, I knew I was getting a good radio. First of all, Muncie had done all the work to it, and Louis was real happy with it. So we brought this one home, and we've been talking on it ever since. It's a good, solid radio. You can't go wrong with it. And like I say, it's a well-lit radio, 10 tubes. And a fantastic speaker. This has like a 4x4 inch speaker in the front, and it's black, so it kind of goes with the radio as far as the features.
No, it is nice, and the listeners, you can hear with some beeping. I was changing the receive filters. I'm in a narrower filter now, just to see if it would bring the background noise different. But you sound good, no matter what. If I'm listening 6K, 3K, whatever, it sounds good. And yeah, part of I think the reason, and Jim, I think you kind of hit on it there. Boston 97 is this was the same technology from the early 60s, really, from the Viking and the Messenger 2. They just added stuff to it. So that's probably why the price point was still very affordable, because they weren't reinventing the wheel. And Jim says, yeah, it still has the electronic switching. You pull out, and you'll notice that, Joe. You pull out your microphonium, and it's like, ooh, what happened to the receive? Well, it needs that microphone plugged into here or something. And then it's still got a tube rectifier. So I'm sure that's they were smart enough to say, no, this keeps the price down. It still works. Maybe there's some modifications we can do. And the other thing was, this was their last tube radio. They were starting to make solid state stuff, which was selling better. It was lighter. You know the story back in 1972. So a classic this is, and made super well. Made like your 59 DeSoto Fire Dome. It still works. You can get it. You can drop it off the table. You can get in an accident, and you'll still be going down the road. Over.
Oh, most definitely, Dennis. Doggone it. And a good-looking radio. Now, I've got the 124 also. It's a solid state, though. Same case. There will be a few more dials and 2 meters. But I'm not sure what year they made that solid state. I thought it was a tuber when I first got it. But it could be a sister to this one. Put them together, you couldn't tell them apart. I think that's the model 124. But anyway, Dennis, thanks for letting me check this one in, and that'll do it for me. I'm starting to cool down in here because we're on our last radio. So sure appreciate it. We're going to miss you the next couple of weeks there. Have a good time, be safe, and come back as soon as you can.
All right, well, thanks. Yeah, I'm going places, doing things that I normally don't get allowed to do. I think I got some special certificate or permission to do that, so I won't get arrested. What they did is they're going to take the batteries out of that ankle thing I have to wear. So I won't get shocked when I go out of the Fresno city limits. It'll be fun. We'll see if we can't get something up and running, maybe even if it's just monitoring this. So, yeah, keep that in mind for the local people who show up on Saturday. And you don't need me to get on the radio. So get on and chat, and if we've got some audio, we'll bring it up. Sounding good. Thanks for the radios tonight. As someone said, a breath of fresh air tonight. Good to hear all the radios, a little bit of Skipland coming in, and things are good. The old Tube Radio Network, the jingle singers, are you ready? And they are saying no, but they're going anyway. OTR.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR.
Let's do some adding.
27.085 megahertz.
What do they amount to?
Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
The best radio? Yeah, Old Tube Radio, whatever it might be. Let's go over to the big chart. And, I saw you on the list. Lake Elsinore was up on my list. It still is. And so 78 there. Who's you guys chatting? Who are you chatting with? I was listening to you. Oh, it was Andy. You and Andy were having one of those conversations. It was sort of like talk radio, where what do you say? You agree to disagree. I was having fun listening to that on both perspectives. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Over. You hear that DX rolling in on the gray line. So if you're watching the videos, there's the chart, the MUF chart. And so the colors represent the band. So right now we're on 28. That's our band, 27, 28. Then it adds the other 40, 15, 20. Some of those bands are still open. Where's the DX on that? And it does the overlay. But still, with right there, that's us coming up. Still getting some maximum usable frequency on 10 meters quite around. And I'm surprised we have not heard the Squamish Boys tonight because the band is open. OTR standing by.
How about another one from the Lounge of Radios?
Lounge of Radios is good. There we are. Trying to get in the right video. I've got radio number 9. That position is open, but now being filled by you. Go ahead, over.
Ooh, great. Well, it's going to be filled by the hottest radio in the collection, and I mean that temperature-wise. This is my Robin T123. Yeah, I'm looking at this small little modulation lamp, and it's reminding me that I got to wake up. I got to coffee up, and really, there's no lollygagging allowed when you use this radio. You got to be pretty forceful and speak up.
Now, there's a word I have not heard in a long time, lollygagging. That is a perfect word for the Old Tube Radio Network. I do believe Robin T123B from the collection of Cliff, and that is not correct. I will show Cliff's in a minute. But this is a nice front view with the TX and RX lights, and of course the external speaker mod and PA, and the S meter that is, the bottom is green on the power side, and then the letters are white, and then they turn red at 10 to whatever it is, 30 or 40 over. Range expands, which I'm sure you must have on. And yeah, it's mellow, but I hear you. Over.
Yeah, the range expand is definitely on. Just for entertainment purposes, it's on. And 1, 2, 3, the range expand is now off. Modulation lamp hasn't really changed much of anything, but now the range expand is back on, so I guess so is my voice.
Well, now that's interesting. Actually, he said, scratching his proverbial head, there was no change. There was a crackle as though the switch was being positioned, but it didn't engage. So the good thing is, whatever setting it's at is the one you want. So it didn't change that. It didn't get stuck in the other setting, which is the one you don't want. So probably you have to leave it where it is, but we could tell you switched it, even though it didn't do anything. Over.
Well, no. Don't throw down the gauntlet there. I have to make this not work, right? Let's try this again. Actually, let's do this. All right, it's on, and it's testing 1, 2, 3. No, that lamp, I don't think it's doing much of anything.
It adds a little crackle as it's doing something, but you are correct. It does not change. So, okay, the question now is it on or is it off? Maybe that's why that radio is always a little, and it's not bad. The audio sounds good, but let's say less than 99% modulated. Maybe it's because it's stuck off rather than stuck on or stuck up. No, so it isn't functioning as a range expand or de-expand, but whatever you have sounds okay. Okay?
Sounds okay. That's a good one. Yeah, well, obviously in the past it has worked successfully. Something, I don't know, whatever. The switch isn't functioning on the inside or whatever. But hey, I guess it crackles, so that's kind of a cool, special effect. This doesn't have any ping or any special tone alert, but it's got a crackle. Hey, maybe it's the first radio to ever feature that, huh?
This is possibly the crackle frequency, but it does okay. What I'm glad is it didn't shut off, and we've had that happen before. It's like, let me try this, and then it's like, I can't hear you anymore. But this is not the case. I want to say a very good 73 to Captain Robert. Hey, it is so good to have you back on the chat. I know you are not feeling 100% tonight, but we certainly appreciate you stopping by. And we'll have a safe week. Catch you in like 2 weeks, or is it 3 weeks? Anyway, we will be gone for the next 2 weeks, so you have plenty of time to recuperate, and we will look for you then. And likewise, all the stations that are joining us here tonight, whether you might be at oldtuberadio.net or listening on Skipland or doing the video. Always fun to have the crew jumping in. And we're doing the sort of mixed up format tonight. We might keep doing that. A little less formatted so that people can come and go as it works for their schedule, and we might get more, we might get less, but it'll work. Radio number 9 on with us now, the Robin T123B, and I was going to make a comment that this is the radio that took over for the 123 with the Magic Eye from 1972 to 1976 when they couldn't produce them anymore because it was only a 23-channel radio. It does have 11 tubes. It has a couple of transistors, but I think that's for DC-DC conversions. You can run it mobile. There is an operator's manual PDF and a schematic PDF somewhere over at oldtuberadio.com. And if you missed it, it sounds a lot like this. Back to you for transmission.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for letting me check it in. It is a fun radio to use. I don't mean to slam it so much, because it's not putting out the best audio, but it's a great looking radio. I will probably leave this on, and we might do some temperature testing just to find out how hot the top of this cage gets, after it's been on for a while. But what was I going to say? Oh, I think I'm going to sign off with just a question. After this one, I think it was the Robin Yellowbird. 240? I don't know what it was. Yellowbird. I'm wondering if, number one, was that Yellowbird, was that a 40-channel radio? And number two, did any of these ever come with amplified mics? My 123 did not. And this one obviously doesn't. And for posterity, I think this is the stock microphone that came with it. But again, the radio that came after this one, was it a 40-channel? And did it come with an amplified mic, or was that just kind of a extra frill that was just too expensive?
Okay, a lot of questions, probably which I'm not going to remember. The 240D was the version begat by the FCC when they said you can't sell a 23-channel radio. So they went in, and I don't know if they did a synthesized crystal or what they did, but they basically took, and I wish 23s could do was here, because he probably knows the better answer, or the correct answer, where they took the same radio and just made it so they could get all 40 channels in. Oh, hold on a second.
The questions like this on a Saturday night. Okay, back to you, OTR.
Okay, I was transmitting but not transmitting, so sorry about that. I was answering your question, but I wasn't being heard because of my technical error. So the T120, the T240D was the version after 1976. I think it was still a Panasonic 2 chassis where they just had them modified to get the 40 channels in. And let's see, what was the other question you asked over?
So, if it was a 40 channel and what kind of a mic it came with.
Okay, yeah. And no, I don't think any of them came with an amplified microphone, but what I'm going to do, and this is the picture with the box, but I'm going to go back to one of Cliff's pictures of the T123, and I think he has in that picture, this is not the radio you're on, but I wanted to show the 123. If I remember correctly, there it is. I'm going to do a, for those watching the video, and I'll try to explain it here. Let me do the close-up. There is a microphone, and here it is. It's called the MT1, I believe, and it says ROBYN right in the speaker, or the element grill, which is kind of strange. It seems like it'd be blocking your speech pattern, but that's the microphone that came with it. And I think you can, yes, if you look in the back, there is a knob. So that is an amplified microphone by Robin. And so this is back in the early 70s that came with, and probably could be purchased with any of the Robin radios, but I do not believe it was sold with the radio. It would be an extra thing. Over. So what you might be looking for is that Robin MT, Mike Tango #1 microphonium. Over. And that would be good to go. All right. Was there another breaking station? OTR standing by.
Sorry. Thanks for the advice. 73. In
fact, did I hear a Harvey item?
Yeah, I keyed up. I think you already have this one checked in, the Golden Beagle. That'd be about it. I got another radio going, the phone going, so I guess I gotta get going. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's okay. We won't stay on too late tonight. We have been having a good time, getting lucky with the skip tonight, and no local noise, as it were, thanks to all the stations that kind of participated to make sure that things were going well tonight. You just never know. I like the mixed format here, so we'll probably try that again when we come back in a couple of weeks. It gives everybody a chance to get in and out. Our SWLs that are from near and far out have a chance to maybe jump in and jump out as they can, and then you can always watch and or listen to the replay and see what things were going on. So all is good. And my radios and things seem to be working. There has most everything tonight has been operator error. There have been no flames coming out from anywhere. And notice the skip openings have been very short tonight. The gray line gets kind of weighed down again, a couple of minutes. So who knows? Maybe in another 5 minutes we'll be listening to somebody else. But plenty of time for those of you locally to, and I will quote Matample here, to stop your lollygagging, your dilly-dallying, and your bamboozling to get on the radio and get checked in before we sign out. Richard, I don't know. We sort of had that planned. We had that planned tonight. We had the guy with his conductor hat and a couple of cabooses. What's the plural of caboose? Ready to go. But as you can see, not necessary so far. And Arthur in New Jersey, Alpha Delta Charlie, looking good. I've just been super busy. I haven't been getting on the air. I was on 20 meters with my little vertical. And who did I talk to? Did I write it down? I don't know. That would be a good frequency to get into two land. Usually I can hear the big gun stations, but they might not hear me as well. And Mark, that might have been Chuckles and Vinegar. That was one of them. I think that was Vinegar. Chuckles would never do that. So I think we finally know the truth. Chuckles probably doesn't have a radio. Vinegar has got a CB radio in the Pinto. Tony asking, what is the most rare radio? It's hard to say. It's the one that's never checked in. And occasionally we'll get something. So probably would go by production numbers, or even if you have something like the, the Swan, the Siltronics, where you have the 1011B, the 1011C, the 1011D Comanche, and the Siltronics, and the 1040, the Swan. There's something like it's basically all the same radio, but they produced X amount of one of them, like 25 before they changed it. So that makes it rare. It's like, well, you got a Siltronics? No, I've got that one. I've got that one that they only produced 25 before they changed something over. And then, of course, you have some of those manufacturers. And it was like old cars. If you study cars from the 1915s and the 20s and the 30s, all these manufacturers, it wasn't just 3 or 4 people. It was like 15 or 20 steam engines and electric engines. And, people just sort of building them in their shops, in their garage, and they do. Tucker's the same way. What do they make, like 50 of those? So it's the same way with some of the radios. You've got somebody that says, I'm going to build a better radio, or I can do a 5-tube radio, and 20 of them get produced, and they may be good, they may be not so good, and one of them survives, or 2 of them survive. So, yeah, that's rare, and we may not we may not hear them here. So it's always hard to say. So I look, any of it is rare. They're all rare, and we're glad that they can check in. And we'll find out tonight the opposite of it. What was the unrare radio? Who was the most heard manufacturer tonight? That'll be coming up in a couple of minutes. The Old Tube Radio Network will stop talking so that anyone can check in. And yeah, Greg, that's right. He had on his page the kit radio from Don Stoner that was and wasn't part of the early Radio Shack catalog. How many, raise your hand, how many have one of those or have seen one of those? The $39, $59 kit radios from 1958, 59, 60, when they were coming out that way. So that's a very rare radio as well. So a lot of the early, probably pre-64, where there may have been a very low production run, or it's a company that did something and jumped in and jumped back out. You can always count on, like tonight, Tram and WRL and E.F. Johnson and Robin to make sure that they're producing a new model every 18 months to keep up with the proverbial Jones plugs.
How about the Radio Shack Selecticom?
The Selecticom was one, and I probably have a picture of something else that you were on. I was looking at it because it was still up earlier. No, that's not good. We're going to have problems. Oh, where'd that come from? Hold on.
Or even your neighborhood bar, you can listen with your whole family.
You know, the Jingle Singers just did that. And how many people are in your neighborhood bar tonight? I always like it when they do that little outburst. And I will make sure we didn't go through the full list tonight. So I've got the SWL. Is anybody listening wants to get checked in tonight or didn't know if they got on the list, come on in. We'll make sure we've got you in. Plus, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks, so everybody will get a check-in for that. So we may have a lot of potential 00 candidates coming up in a couple of weeks here. That'll be fun.
Good evening, Dennis. 109 Crawdad looking for a check-in.
109 Crawdad, that's the way to do it. Key the push to talk, and if I find the right number here, I will put it above my shoulder. No, I've got to have the right next radio. What am I doing? I've done this before. Let's clear the rigs. And SWL. Anyway, you're sounding good. You can hear me tonight because there's not a lot of skip.
Oh yeah, your audio is loud and clear tonight. You're sounding good for sure.
All right, I'm watching the wrong replay. Maybe. Did I change? No, I think I updated. So if anybody's clicking on, August, anybody's clicking on the replay net tonight, they will get the good stuff. Likewise, you're sounding good. Thanks for jumping in on a getting late Saturday night here. Hope you have a great day planned tomorrow, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah, well, the only plan for tomorrow is work, and I'll be here in a couple of weeks for the next one.
All right, we were taking a couple-week hiatus out of the air chair. There may be, in fact, there will be people on the frequency here, so stop on by and say hello. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you for running the net.
Indeed. World Radio 2356, hello, Brian in the Rockies, where I don't know if we were heard tonight. Who's usually listening to us up there? It's Rob in Zero Land, so I don't know if we made it into Woodland Park tonight or not. We're standing by, counting and amounting, as they say. Huntsville, Alabama Ham Fest coming through, so if you didn't make Dayton, that's the other one you want to go to. Gary's on 30 meters CW. That's just a hop, skip, and a jump on the north side of WWV at 10 megs. What's going on there? EU blasting in to West Virginia, and the band is really up. Yeah, I was still seeing a lot of, indication that 20 was wide open and maybe even 15. So good dit on getting some contacts on 30 Miatros. And Jim, I have the pocket protector. I'm going to pull it out, and there it is. And people want to see it up close. Look at this. Here's the up close pocket protector. Love, and it's brought to you by S&W Green Stamps. They used to have the blue chips and the green chips, and it has tubes on it. And what is that? It's telling me it's the color 9 cents Add Forever Pocket Saver with 1, 2, 3, or 4 color imprint. So if you get, it's 12 cents. You buy if you buy 25 of them or more, they're only 7 cents. You can get one. You can get a pocket protector for the whole family. We ran out of pins, so maybe I'll recycle them. I'll just throw them up in the air, put them in a box, and we'll start over again. Tony's looking look up the Sonar FS2340. Look up, I have one here. Before we go, let me bring up the next radio and we'll see what that's all about. Anyway, counting and amounting and looking for any last-minute check-ins here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Oh, all we have is an ad? Well, that's good enough. Let me go to the full-page ad thing. Steve Burnham. Sonar makes its CB radios like Rolls-Royce makes its cars. 40 channel. Well, that's what the 40 was for, the 2340. So that's probably their 1976 radio that had to have 40 channels. So they probably just stuck that in there. 73 Workman Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 212, and there you go, 8,000. Call that number. Call that number and see who answers. Do not tell them that OTR sent you. The 2340 can field even the weakest signal it will zero in on any of its 40 channels with unparalleled reception. Somebody got paid to write on that, but small price to pay for what is quite possibly the best CB radio in the world and the world will ever know. Well, transmit-wise, everybody liked the Sonars back in the day. All right, counting and amounting. We'll be back. And then those jingle singers said,
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
all right, here's the multi-map 10. Yeah, look at 10. That's what he was talking about. There's 10. I'm sorry, that was 30. Let's start this again. Green is 10 and 30 and 20. I'm getting frequency and bands mixed up. There's everybody overlaid. There's 740 meters is in there. There we go. That's us. Fading out, but still possible. There's 30 and 20, pretty much the whole United States and beyond. So the band is open. If you want to go down frequently a little bit, 40 meters is open, and 28 is trying. If you're on CW, you probably do okay. Listen for the beacons.
Look at your meters, Dennis.
Yeah, that's like he's like a mud duck all of a sudden, huh? There's like 4 things I have to do at once to make that happen.
just cut off by itself, or is it you're doing?
No, it's like Dennis has to do 3 things at once. Think about being a drummer, and you've got like the hi-hat and the tom and the bass drum and the cymbal. You know how they're doing that all at once? That would be me if I was doing this correctly.
Oh boy, it'd be a mess for me.
All right. Well, let's. Speaking of correctly, let me get out of here. So I bet the band will still be open. See if we get, some people wanting to do the skip. But in the meantime,
ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, the current and the final. I'll do a log to talk on the PTT and everything else. Meters look good at the top. And no, this is not a Sonar FS23 ad, so we'll get rid of that above my head by doing that, I believe. Yes. Back to the meter. Anyway, thanks for checking in tonight on the shortwave listener list. We will make sure we get you all checked in. A couple of week hiatus on the air chair, which is probably a good thing. I mean, don't have to put up with that guy in the dumb suit anymore for a while, but that's good. Come out here and get on the radio. That's the whole reason this was started. It didn't have to have any fancy internet thing going on or whatever. It was just come on down and get on your radio. Who would have thunk in 1988 that it would be 2025, and we are all still trying to do that. Radios tonight, the most heard manufacturer was indeed the E.F. Johnsons with a couple of them, the Robins with a couple of them. The car started with, and here's somebody talking about a rare radio. We don't hear many of them now, but back in the mid-'60s you would. The Cardiff Phone 326. Thanks, Sean. It sounded pretty good. Listen to the replay. We've got some great audio on that. Witch Doctor, horizontally polarized, 20 dB lighter than he should be, and still banging in with a great signal on the DAC 9. A couple of tubes in there. Look in there. There's a lot of space, but they've got tubes. Radio number 3, the Metrotek Mustang. Thank you, Joe, on the Mustang. Was that you? Yeah, okay. I was thinking somebody else has got a Mustang. I think Sean does. There you go. Might be the most heard radio some night. Tram Titan from Cliff. Somebody wanted I think it was Jim. Somebody wanted a Tram Titan radio tonight, and we got one. Thank you, Cliff, for that. The World Radio Labs Hustler, always a fan favorite. Radio number 5 from Joe, and he followed that up with the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO. Right? Not much to look at, but packs a punch. I'm sure you can get more than 5 watts DC output if you work that right, and it always sounds good. Runs mobile in your 6-volt, 12-volt, or plug it in at home if you've got the right model and the right cable. Radio 7, the Robin T123, the Magic Eye winking and blinking. Thank you, Mike, for that. Also, Joe came in on the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, the full Monty. Does that apply to tube radios? I don't know. Always good on the 223. There's the radio. If you're looking for one, start a collection or just to have something, that would be good. That gets you all 23 channels, no wackiness, tried and true, and they're probably still fairly reasonable on the used market, and they sold a lot of them, and they hold up well. And radio number 9, the Robin T123 Bravo from Mike. Thank you for that. Thanks, everybody, like I said, behind the scenes. Everybody behind the scenes tonight. And maybe it worked. It was the karma, that extra karma. So we had a nice, as we used to say, nice, quiet, a nice, clear frequency. The old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glow in the Dark, do something like this where you are, get on the air. If you're studying for your ham radio ticket upgrade or your first license, continue to do so because the bands are going to be excellent still for the next couple of years, and it's fun to do. We'll go catch you all later from your old Tube Radio Network.
73s, everybody.
Dennis, did you miss my Robin?
From behind the scenes.
Let me check because I may have not added it. You had, oh, you know what? You were on the 123B, right? I forgot to add that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I probably looked down and I saw one. So that changes things. That puts the Robins as the most heard radio. Because I was counting, I'm thinking, I thought we had more Robins than that. So thank you for the update. And that also gives us 10 radios tonight. Over.
Yeah, go Robin.
he said.
I did check this one in.
See, I missed that too. No, you did. You checked in at the beginning. E.F. Johnson. So, you know what? We'll just keep going. I'll put all the radios I missed. There were 11 radios because I know we have the R68, T68. They're, the Chet and Charlie are like shaking their head. It's like, no. No, I haven't been drinking. I think the tie is a little too tight tonight, cutting off circulation of the brain. Over.
Well, it was just such an easy night.
Yeah, all I had to do was relax and be neck control tonight. I didn't have to do all the stuff I've been doing the last couple of weeks. And I couldn't handle it. I didn't know what to do with myself.
I won't elaborate on that.
Hello, Harvey.
Hello, Mobile Sean.
Yes, I have an excellent copy on you.
And you should hear Dennis and everyone also.
There was a drug addict woman with a 10-inch knife when I went in to get a milkshake.
Well, I guess you had a fun evening.
Yeah, I think about 7 PD units showed up and took her to jail.
But you did get your milkshake, right?
Correct, but it took me like 15 minutes because she was trying to stab the guy that was ringing it up.
Holy cow.
Well, you should have hit her upside the head and say, hey, my milkshake first.
No doubt. Well, I'm going down into the hole.
Oh, you're going down in the hole now.
Yes, I'm sub-grade on the 180.
Alrighty, 180 and where?
Currently going under the Peach overpass, I believe.
Still sounding good here.
Well, of course. I'm on the west side. Okay. Sean, I'll let you go, let you drive, drink your milkshake.
All right, guys, have a great evening.
Okay, we'll see how long you can keep hearing Dennis and the ones closer to you.
Oh, I can hear them at my house in my mobile.
And that is going to be one good rock and roll song that you produced, the Crazed Woman with the 10-inch Knife.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Yeah, it got my attention, and as it wasn't something I normally encounter out in Sanger.
he made the mistake of coming into Fresno. Over.
Yeah, correct. The Carl's Jr. on Blackstone, and I don't know what that is there, but yeah, it was a poor decision to stop there.
What was the old hee-haw thing that they used to do? It was, doctor, I broke my arm in 7 different places. And the guy looks over and says, the doctor guy looks over and says, well, stay out of them places.
Yeah, good advice, that's for sure.
And yeah, the Siltronics radios manufactured in Oceanside. That's Sil, Sam I. Lewis. They had to divorce themselves from Cubic and Swan that was down there in San Diego as well.
Pack it in. See you in a couple weeks.
And as they say, some of the SWLs are saying, are you okay? And I sound like you made it, right?
Well, he got his milkshake, so I guess he's fine.
Yeah, he lived to tell about it, and he got his milkshake, so we're doing good.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely fine. It was an interesting situation, and Fresno PD doesn't mess around. There was at least 7 units, I say, that was there within 5 minutes.
Now, did they get a milkshake too?
No, but the guy was, people were in there waiting, and he was trying to serve milkshakes and tell the stories. So yeah, it was a Saturday evening, a long day at work, and an interesting Saturday evening.
And the fact that it's probably, well, dear, what happened at work today? One of the things is like, oh, yeah, guess what? And that's, I bet that's their version. When you're at a 7-Eleven or wherever you were at, that is sort of their version of the jammer. It's just like, oh, well.
Yeah, she jammed the line. There were several people rolling their eyes, and one guy knew her from the neighborhood, said she was a 5150, but the drugs definitely induced a more crazy atmosphere with the mental health issues.
If we could get everybody with the radio, tube radio, and get on OTR on Saturday evenings, the world would just be such a nice place. It just happens when you do that. And like, who was it? Somebody, I couldn't have said it better. William, bye, and da-da-da-da-da-da. That was Jim. Thank you. The Old Tube Radio Network. We're out of here.
73.
All right, what is the bye-bye screen? I think it's going to be the R-band.
See you later, Sean.
Yeah, we'll see you later, Harvey. I'm at D. Wolf and 180.
That is one bodacious mobile out there. All right, good night, everybody. It is time for some beverage that is cool and a room that is not 90 degrees. And again, if there's anybody out here on the 2-meter side, thanks for jumping around. We did good tonight, so it's the karma of being a nice guy. KB6G up there. Hey, Mikey, you're sounding good. I got you. And 13 will get the X and the square. KB6G update.
Thanks a lot, Dennis. I was been requesting, so I was making a trip.
Yeah, we were kind of mixing up the format tonight because we weren't sure what was going to happen, but it all worked well, and everybody's sounding good, and the band is good, so good conditions. Have a great evening. KB6G update.
Have a good night, and stay with peace.